From the market that's black, to the back of the lag, to the chrome of the strap, to the way that it's stacked, never lack, bring it back to reflect on the art. Watch the good spark, realizing where it start. On note, reputation representing the cool, the rims and the paint complement the old school white.
Hey, what up, what up? Welcome back to Music Spectrum, where music has no limits and neither do we. And I'm Black Mozart, and I'm with my dog
Cornbread Capone.
All right, so today is it's a somber moment in the music industry. It has been confirmed, correct, before we put this out. Irv Gotti, man, it's a legend. That's all I can say, man. It was the hip hop scene hit me hard when my favorite artist Prodigy passed, but I'm gonna say Irv Gotti is definitely a prominent figure in the music industry. He was known for known as the co-founder for Murder Inc Records, alongside his brother Chris Gotti. He played a key role in shaping the sound of the early 2000s in hip hop and R&B. Produced hits for artists like Ja Rule, Ashanti, DMX, Jay-Z. His production style helped define the era and blended hardcore rap with melodic R&B hooks. So with that being said, if you didn't know who Irv Gotti was, we definitely gonna talk a little bit about his early career breakthrough, and we're not gonna harp on the legal troubles at all. Because we gonna celebrate and give him flowers what is due for the hip hop community.
He started out as DJ Irv. A lot of people might not be aware of that, but
yeah.
Then he went to production, and he produced for one of the first artists that I seen him with was an artist named Mike Geronimo.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I mean, he was producing for Jay. And then he was hired as an A&R, and this is where it's important, because hired as an A&R Jam, he did was sign DMX. The next thing that he did after he got DMX signed was he brought Jay-Z and Rocafella over to Def Jam. This move would help revitalize Def Jam, because prior to this, Def Jam was in a very dire state. And if you think about the numbers that X put up, if you think about the numbers that Jay put up, and then of course Murder Inc coming in '99 with Ja Rule first album, he was platinum selling artist out the gate, so they all was putting up those numbers. Gotti was producing. He was producing his own records, and he was producing for other people. He eventually worked with Jennifer Lopez. He worked with Nas. He worked with I just found out that he did Aaliyah and DMX back in One Piece. That was my joint.
So before we move on, we're gonna list a couple joints. Definitely took some notes down. Because some of these I didn't really know he had a hand in a lot of them, but of course we knew Ja Rule, Ashanti, and Ja Rule. But you got hits like Always on Time, #1 Billboard Hot 100, Living It Up featuring Case, Top 10, Me and You featuring Christina Milian. These are Ja Rule hits, Top 20, Mesmerize featuring Ashanti, Top 10, Holla Holla. That was Ja Rule's, of course, breakthrough single. Then you got Ashanti with A Foolish, Happy, Baby, Rock With You, all top 10, all #1 in Hot 100s. Foolish definitely was a big one. What's My Name with DMX, top 100. Slippin', classic DMX record. How's It Going, fan favorite track. Then you got, like you said, Jennifer Lopez. It was #1 on the Billboard 100, I'm Real, Murder Inc remix featuring Ja Rule. Ain't It Funny with Cadillac Ty, #1 Billboards. Then Can I Live, classic track from Reasonable Doubt. He had a hand in that. So basically, man, like you were saying, Irv Gotti was directly involved with at least 10 plus top 10 Billboard hits. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot to say from he was up there, man. He was up there, especially in the
Yeah.
time of hip hop when everybody was scrutinizing everything. Like you had to be on point with your music during that time frame. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he had it, and he had it on Smash for a good 2 years.
And
2 years
then you got
straight.
to think he was competing with labels like Bad Boy. Now, you know, whatever they going through right now, you know, the whole Diddy thing, but you cannot negate the fact that in 99 to 2003, Bad Boy was up there as well. You know, Rocafella was up there as well as far as, so Murder Inc was competing with, you know, the likes of those cats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Well, they were competing with everybody, but they had a sound that you know shaped that era, that defined that era. You know what I'm saying? Cut through that era, and that's why a lot of people work with Irv Gotti, because he had that sound. I mean, you got to think this is the time when Fat Joe had that hit record produced by Irv Gotti as well,
yeah,
and that it kind of brought Fat Joe back,
yeah,
if you remember. You know what I'm saying? Because prior to that, it was a question mark above that, and then when What's Love came out and it tore a hole through radio the way it did, it made people say, "Oh, you know what I'm saying? Look at Fat Joe with a a number one hit." You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
the platter, Ashanti on the hook. You know what I'm saying? Like it was success. But I do want to say, he was also working with James Prince, Suge Knight, on a union. A lot
Yeah.
of people use
Yeah, I
it and say
remember hearing that.
a record label that they were trying to do, but they were trying to form a union, just like how actors have a Screen Actors Guild. It's
Yeah,
basically a union for actors and actresses.
yeah.
Well, they were trying to get a union for artists, because in the music industry there's no such thing. And I thought that was a dope idea, but we all know how that ended up.
Yeah, I remember hearing that in one of his interviews. They were trying to, and then at that time, it definitely could have took place. But you know, the higher powers that be in that industry didn't want the alliance to form because it was going to be a powerful alliance. You know what I'm saying? Especially for artists that were getting, you know, time and time again we hear, you know, time and time again we hear how artists get in the game and they get screwed over or effed over because of, you know, those record execs, things of that nature. So that have been a good union for those to advocate for those artists. And as I sit here think, man, if you take Irv Gotti out the picture of the 90s, man, like it'll be a whole like catalog of music that wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying, that actually helped shape hip hop today. If you took that all away, some parts of hip hop would be missing. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. You know,
I agree. I agree. I mean, you know, his touch to the game came with all the stuff that we just mentioned, pretty much.
yeah,
And without that, rap looked different, hip hop
yeah,
looked different. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's what a lot of people. It's sad that it takes somebody to pass away for them to realize that, but a
yeah,
lot of people not realizing that, because I'm reading people's reactions and comments about it, and they was like, you know, I can't believe you know, he was such an important figure in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are going back to whatever age they were when he was on top and when he
yeah.
was running the video.
And
And I
and
do.
and, and for people don't understand too, man, you know, I you know, look at the list, man. Let's just look at the list for, you know, of who was signed to his label. You got Ja Rule, Ashanti, Lloyd, Charlie Baltimore, Cadillac Ty, Black Child. Christina Milian was briefly affiliated with him for a second. You know, just those artists alone, they had hits. You know what I'm saying, in the 90s, early 2000s, well, late 90s, early 2000s. Then you look at major artists that he produced. You know, DMX, Jay-Z, Nas, Jennifer Lopez, Fat Joe, Notorious B.I.G. You know, he had the Postmortemist projects. Eve, Mary J. Blige, Kanye did collaboration with him. 50 Cent early work before the beef. That was, before the beef, of course. Mariah Carey, Foxy Brown, Lil Wayne, Busta Rhymes. So, just the people he worked with and the catalog of artists he had, man. If you take Irv Gotti away from that picture, man, there's going to be a lot of artists that probably wouldn't have had hits and wouldn't have been able to come out as big as they were. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So you look at 50 plus something artists, man, across and in production, remixes, in the 90s and the early 2000s, them remixes, they was on point, wasn't it?
Well, it was a thing to have a hit song and then make a hot remix to it and almost like a 2-in-1 out of it, and I love that era because I love the remixes. I love it that they find rappers and put them on the remixes and just which one we was watching. We was watching the Lloyd and Ashanti with Scarface. Yeah, that's the one that everybody from Houston sharing right now because of course he had he worked with artists in the South as well. Oh, yeah. So Irv got to get that love in Texas too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in Queens. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to.
No clue. I had no clue, man.
Yeah, I want to say he had some reality shows too. He had 2 different reality shows on VH1, and then he had on another network.
Yeah, he had what was that joint called, man? It was I can't remember that because he had he did have 1 or 2. It was can't remember it was BET Tales. It was like a hip hop anthropology series or something like that.
But that was a show he was producing. He wrote and produced that one, and that's a important part of his legacy too because he took rap songs and turned them into movies.
Yeah,
and that's what Tales was. And I thought that was dope ass idea. But prior to that, he had probably about 2 or 3 different reality television shows before he did Tales. You know what I'm saying? And it was one particular I can't find it nowhere, but BET had this docuseries called American Gang. And it came on back in between 2005 and 2009-ish. Okay. They had one episode where they profile Kenneth Supreme McGriff, and we all know Kenneth Supreme.
We already know who that one is.
And he's already showing love to Irv Gotti because they were friends, they were close. On that documentary, Irv Gotti kept it so real. And even Supreme right now is keeping it real because the whole reason why Irv Gotti was in trouble was behind Supreme. They were trying to use Irv Gotti to get to Supreme, but they couldn't. But they couldn't do that. That's why he ended up beating the situation. But Irv Gotti kept it so real on that episode. I hope and wish that somebody uploads that episode of American Gangster so that we can hear what Irv Gotti said in that interview because he kept it so real on there. And even me watching it at the time, I was like, wow, like I wonder what's going to happen with this interview or with this particular episode. And I never saw it again. It never resurfaced on the internet. It's not on YouTube. Yeah. And I thought that was funny. But Irv Gotti always struck me as somebody who kept it 100. And that being said, I can always respect that on top of the respect that he's going to get for the music that he created and the people that he put in position.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of crazy, man, because I know people, I guess people didn't realize that, in like around 2000, 2009, 2010, he actually had some health troubles back then that he was dealing with because he, the stress of running the music not music industry, but the record label. And, that's around the time he had those legal troubles. So he had some health issues back then. but you know, a lot of this times, you know, they didn't talk about things like that. So just to see it come up, you know, now it's like, dang, you know, that's something that hit us in the face as far as hip hop goes, because it's like, man, we never would have expected nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was just doing interviews not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I just think that I wish us as human beings, man, would give people more flowers for the contributions they put in the game. Now, we're not saying kiss their ass every single time, you know what I mean? But give them more flowers. Like, you know, could have put them on, you know, award shows, you know, the Grammys. Somebody could have did a segment for him there, because look at the, all these other artists that's getting it. But why do we have to wait till people pass away to give them the flowers and give them this big spectacle of at an award show? Because they ain't gonna see it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we all know that unfortunately in the music industry,
That's how it be, huh?
that's how it is, and we all know that catalogs and sales increase when someone passes away. So,
there's a couple of artists that talked about. I don't know if it was Prodigy or another artist that passed away, but they were saying that you know, a lot of the artists wouldn't give them a stage like any of the award shows. They wouldn't invite them to the award show and didn't give him a spot at the award show. I think it was Prodigy though. He said, but and Habit was like, when he passed, that's when they wanted to give him, oh, well, we're gonna give you this segment on here. Okay, why couldn't you give my man Prodigy that segment before this happened? You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy part.
I understand why people feel the way they feel about certain things, because it's like they don't care about you, and then they care about you when you're gone, and they want to pay tribute or whatever. But it seems like it's fake. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you got love, show love, and let that be that. But I do want to say this about the health, because I have been, you know what I'm saying, personally on a health kick for the last couple of years myself. And that was brought on by the losses that of my family due to their health related issues, you know, and I had to look at myself and say, well, if you're not going to be healthy, you're not going to be here. And that's the reality. So, but now I think this situation is going to increase that sentiment, and a lot more people are going to try to get on the healthy side. And if so, good, man. You know what I'm saying? Take a break from stuff. Don't let it run you, because this shit will kill you if you let it. You know what I'm saying?
I second that notion, bro. I second that. I definitely second that notion, bro, because and I've been preaching this for a while, man, but people think I'm crazy sometimes, man. You know, in 2015, man, I was on blood pressure medicines. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up almost having a heart attack. You know, in 2015 at 35 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in the Army. You know what I'm saying? So after that day, well, I didn't have one, but they said if I didn't get that, I was on the verge of having one. But ever since that day, man, I quit. You know, I quit drinking. I was drinking heavy. I quit drinking. I've been on the health kick. I lost the weight. And the thing about it is, man, it just only takes small things to change your life, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're having to deal with kidney issues because of the alcohol and stuff like that. But if people just, like you said, man, and I'm not going to get into it deep, man, but working out keeps you healthy. Watching what you put in your body keeps you healthy. You know what I'm saying? And if you just take it in small portions, man, you'll be here longer, man. You know, but I can tell you, sometimes, man, just put down the drink and the smoke, or just a bad lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? If you put yourself in those positions, it's gonna take a toll on you. But if you don't do nothing else, I would say watch what you eat and work out, man. Because of the simple fact that I tell people, it's just like a car, man. You know, if you putting bad food in your body, you putting bad gas, bad gas and bad oil in your car. What you think gonna happen to your car? So why do you go put Supreme gas in your car, the best top of the line gas, but you put the horrible stuff in your own body? You only got one, you know what I'm saying? So, but I agree with you 100%, man. Hey, I've been on the health kids hard ever since 2015, bro. And if you want to live long, man, you got to change that. If you look at Method Man is on one, Red Man is on one, Jada Kids and all D Block on one. They got the health juice store. You know, I guess when you hit late 30s, early 40s, you start to realize, like, man, I'm trying to
Yeah,
live long. You know what I'm saying? That reckless
yeah,
life ain't worth it.
yeah, man. I mean, I had to look at mine the hard way because I lost, you
Yeah.
know, brother, and it wasn't you know, that even though he was born with the defect that he had,
Mm,
my cousins was a little more different because that was very unexpected, but it was still health related. And it
mm-hmm.
just made me sit down and say, okay, well, what about my health?
Yeah.
And at the time, my health wasn't 100%. And so
Yeah.
I said, well, what would get me there? Well, exercising was step one.
That's step one. Yeah.
Diet, watching what I eat was the second step.
Yeah.
And between those two, you know, now whatever health problems that may have existed no longer exist.
Yeah.
I've lost a significant amount of weight
Yeah.
because I compiled exercises on top of each other, which is
Yeah.
what you do eventually after like you exercise that first time and then you become used to it. And
Yeah.
then after that, you start throwing stuff on top of it.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
when you do that, that's when you start really losing weight because now you exercising almost military style.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I, you know what I'm saying? So,
Wait. Yeah. You already know about when you start talking about military style. You already know. But
yeah,
yeah. But here's the small kick. We know we don't want to get too deep into it, but just going off of Irv Gotti and what's going on with health issues. And I give this to everybody. Where we from. In Beaumont and beyond Houston and wherever you know us from, man. You know, have a sit down, man, and think about where you're going in life as far as your health. Look about what you're eating, man, because where we from in Beaumont, Louisiana, to, South Texas, the food that we make and eat back in the day, or even still today, is not good. We talking about everything from the corner store boudin balls to a lot of fatty pork ribs and just the Louisiana type food that Southeast Texas eat, man. It's good as hell, but it's not very healthy. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
if you think about it, once you come off of that and start eating what God gave you, fruits and vegetables and things that He applied for you to eat, and on top of working out, man, you start realizing like, man, I'm losing the weight. Like you go to a doctor for checkup, your vitals are getting correct, your blood pressure is good, and a lot of us, man, especially African Americans, we don't go to the doctor like we're supposed to. We don't go check up on our blood pressure, and people don't realize blood pressure is the silent killer for a lot of African Americans, man. You know what I'm saying? And then when you find out, it's too late because they already gone. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'll give you your flowers too. Kudos, man, for getting it right, man. I have noticed that you lost the weight. I've been too far in my health kick that I haven't realized that you have lost some weight over there. That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. Spread the wealth, man. Just people in where you from and people where I'm from, spread the wealth, man. People ain't gonna want to hear it till something bad happened to them, and then they like, oh, or they see like, oh man, all my people they passed away. Let me get on point then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's how it be, man. That's all of my health rant I'm gonna say for the day.
All right.
But other
But
than
it's
that, man,
good.
Irv Gotti, man, I know y'all came here for that. Irv Gotti was definitely a pivotal point in hip hop, man, and it really hurts my heart to see him go. Especially, my heart goes out to the family as well, man, because I know these are trying times. It's
Well, I heard something about Irv Gotti that might make you feel a little bit better. A couple of years ago, I want to say maybe it was 2 or 3 years ago,
mm,
he made a deal where he sold his entire music catalog for $300 million.
sheesh.
And what he did was he kept 100 mil for himself.
Mm,
He gave his family 100 mil,
mm.
and he gave Ja Rule 100 mil.
Well, hey,
And
because that
and I said, and when I heard that, I said, you know what? I ain't mad at that. You know
yeah, I
what I'm
ain't
saying?
mad
I
either.
ain't
I
mad
ain't
at
mad
that
either,
at all.
man.
I ain't mad at that at all. You know what I'm saying? You helped you stayed down. Ja
Mm,
Rule stayed down with that man through the good and the bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, you deserve that, and his family is his family. I know the move was more than likely made to secure the money for the family. So all that's understandable. And with that being said, hey man, shit, that man did right. You know what I'm saying? Like he did right musically, and he did right by his family. You know what I'm saying? Above anything
man.
that may be said about him, hey,
Yeah.
you got to give him his respect on that note. You know, I'll say.
So I like that, man. I like that. You doing stuff and you take care of your family. You stay down, because and a lot of people, I guess, during that time, a lot of people saw, the Murder Inc. Some people saw him as corny because Ja Rule when 50 Cent came along and the whole thing went on. But to me, man, Ja Rule, he was a force to be reckoned with at that time frame. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that was on the radio, Ja Rule's voice was on it. You know what I'm saying? Especially the
You're not
remixes.
gonna like this, but Ja Rule made better music
That's what it
because
was, man.
because you can still play that music now. That music still has replay value, rewind value. People still listen to that music now. Now, when 50 came along, he made it unfashionable,
Yeah.
but then he turned around and did the same thing in his music. So and people didn't like that and stopped listening to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But Ja Rule in their music was good. I can't deny it. I might not like certain songs because I feel like certain songs they wore the fuck out.
Yeah.
But but other than that, you know what I'm saying? I love Pain is Love. I think Blood in My Eye, Ja Rule is probably one of his best bodies of work. But I will also say that RULE is a great album as well. Irv Gotti, his production, I like the stuff that he did with I love that record that they did with because they took the So Many Tears sample and rapped on, and I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, my joint.
So and it's crazy you say that because I was just telling another cat I know, man. I said, if you look at it, man, 50 Cent was all he did was take Ja Rule style. Like when he came out, he was on the rap tip. You didn't hear him singing like that. Then later on, it's like he stole Ja Rule's whole style. And then, like you say, people stopped wanting to listen to 50 because all he had was the female remixes like Ja Rule was doing, the singing, and he had so it was like, but Ja Rule came out when, remember the Source, was it Double XL or was it Source? I think it was Source, when DMX, Jay-Z, and Ja Rule was on the cover.
Double X. That was Double X.
Double XL. Were they ever supposed to come out with a album at one point? Because I remember when I seen those three, I was like, oh yeah, this might be it.
They was supposed to come out with an album, but the reason why that album didn't come out was because of Jay-Z and DMX.
Okay.
Ja Rule at that time was the unknown. Jay and X big ones, and Ja Rule was just kind of coming up into who he would become. And when that fell through, that's when Ja Rule went and made Rule 336. That was his. That was the most successful album. That was the album with Put It On Me, I Cry, Radio Play, 4-time platinum.
Yeah.
You know, they blew after that point. You know what I'm saying? And
So, and the crazy part is that Irv Gotti had a hand in all three of them, and those are three pivotal artists in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Especially DMX. Especially you talking about an artist who people still talk about today. I think not Ja Rule. DMX had the capacity, or he had the impact of, I would say, Michael Jackson. And the reason why I say that, man, is because when DMX, you seen him perform, he had people passing out, crying. The crowds were about the same capacity as Michael Jackson when he would go overseas. You know what I'm saying? So you think about discovering somebody like that. and then they go on to, and you have a hand to go on to be one of the greatest MCs of all time. You know what I'm saying? So that just tells and shows the mentorship and the leadership of Irv Gotti. You know what I'm saying? That type of person he was.
I think that's why he wanted him signed, because I think what I was reading earlier, DMX was on Columbia, but Columbia didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know how to market him.
That's crazy.
He was on a picture being on the label and the label not knowing what to do with you. Yeah. And then your friend, somebody you know from the street, come say, hey, why don't you come sign over here? Yeah. They know what to do with you. Or I know what to do with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Jay. Jay and them was on Priority. Somebody would say Priority was a failing ship, but I would not necessarily say that so at the time, because Priority also had Master P and No Limit Records. So
didn't they have Ice Cube as well?
They had Cube, but at this time, Cube wasn't putting out music. He was more focused.
Yeah.
So you know, they went from Priority to Def Jam. They had to learn their little footing first, but once after that first album, once they put out Streets Is Watching, Rocafella kind of after that point, you know what I'm saying? So and all that's Irv Gotti. Yeah. All that was Irv Gotti's doing.
Yeah, so we definitely we went over a lot of the artists he had a hand in. We went over the hits that he had a hand in, and we also went over, his early career, how he started as a DJ in Queens before breaking into the industry with DMX. 98 was DMX album, It's Dark and Hell Is Hot. That established
and Flesh of My Flesh, because you gotta remember both of the Irv Gotti produced on both of them.
Okay, yeah. Well, so we're gonna throw that one in there as well. The Murder Inc was founded in 99, so 99, we was graduating high school then. We ain't gonna tell you our age, but that was definitely a big time, especially it was for them, but we also in the South had some breakthroughs coming up in 99 as well. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good time of the year, man. So, but other than that, man, all I got to say left is that when you sent that to me, man, I was like, come on, man, it's too early in the year, bro. It's too early in the year to have a hip hop legend, and he's gonna always be remembered, man. See, the people who are not really hip hop heads, they don't really know who Irv Gotti is, but a quick Google search will tell you who he was. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, and even quick chat GBT or AI will tell you who he was. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, shit, go watch that Murder Inc Docuseries, or they done did a couple of them, and I'm pretty sure the old ones and anything that we haven't seen, pretty sure we're gonna see some stuff that we haven't seen within the next couple of days. You know what I'm saying? That's always how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So,
well,
I just want to be Irv Gotti. You know what I'm saying?
Rest in peace, Irv Gotti. We lost a legend. So just remember, stay tuned in for the next episode that we have. The next episode will be and should be 30 plus years of DJ Quick, Safe and Sound.
Yeah, classic DJ Quick.
Classic DJ Quick. All right. Just remember, music has no limits. Neither do we. Thank you for tuning in to Music Spectrum.
The old school white cups they pour through. Another mission begins. Regardless the destination, all leads to the ends. The deck getting respect by the way the speakers shake. If she look, I take. It's more money to make. Sell out.